This episode of On Display is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Every time I use Booking.com to find a place to stay in the U.S., I know they'll have exactly what I'm looking for. They have a huge variety of options from hotels to vacation rentals, and I'm always able to find something that fits my specific needs. I've found that Booking.com has something for everyone. Find exactly what you're looking for on Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
We chose friendship and family over business, and that's a big reason why we're still together.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of On Display. I missed you guys. Can't wait to talk to you today. I am super excited about today because this one hits hard for me. It's super personal. I'm going to give you guys a little hint of who I have with me today as a guest because I'm so excited. It goes something like this. Oh. Okay, I'm laughing. I can't even sing it right. I'm going to have to redo that. But anyway, you guys will never believe who I have on the show today. He was someone I admired growing up, and we're 1 month away from the launch of his brand new Freedom Tour, which is going all around the U.S. He's a singer. He's an actor. He was the young face in the first boy band that we all can remember. Ladies and gentlemen, the new kid on the block himself, Mr. Joey McIntyre is with me today.
Hey.
Hi.
I like that intro.
I want to sing, oh. I want to sing that
good.
Better.
Yeah? I think,
okay.
No, you did good.
I was like giggling while I was singing it.
It works.
I want to hit the notes. How are you? I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Nice to talk to you. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I know, obviously I have to start off by telling you that was like my era. So I was a huge.
You were clearly on the young side. You were one of those 5-year-olds that we used to have. They were tiny.
No, I wasn't a 5-year-old actually, because my 8th grade school photo I have on to this day. I'll never forget. And I can't believe my mother allowed me to wear this to school picture day. But I had on an earring that was like a round circle and it said NKOTB in it.
Amazing.
And I was in 8th grade.
I'm sure you have to talk about beauty on this podcast. So whatever your secrets are, you look amazing. Not that it's about looking amazing. It's on the inside. I'm just saying. I usually try to go, oh, I know how old you are just by based on demo and New Kids and being a fan back then. So
yes. So I want to say I don't know, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to say something around there.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were going on for years and years,
sure.
But I'm talking I'm going to embarrass myself now having you, but I got to say it. I had the pillowcases. I had everything. Probably the backpack, the pillowcases.
You were an OG.
I'm a true OG, so
yes.
I deserve to be, I deserve this interview with you right now because this is like a real OG fan in the house today.
Perfect.
So yes, and you have always been known, just so that you've always been known as the real nice guy. Not that they're all really nice guys, but everyone says
we all are. Yeah.
Yes, but everyone says you're such a gem. You're such a nice guy. So
I fooled them all.
Kudos to you for holding it up all these years. I mean, you started so young. So I mean, it's crazy. You have 3 children, right? You're married with 3 kids.
Yeah.
And you've been married for a really long time, right?
I guess so. Yeah. 20. We're going on, can't believe how fast this year is going by. But in August, it'll be 22 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been married for 20 years this past August as well. August what?
9th.
Okay. On the 21st. Yeah.
Okay.
20th.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah. It's funny when you hear someone else say it, you're like, wow, that's a long time. But for you, it doesn't resonate the same way. So it's good to for both of us to reflect the accomplishment.
For sure. I sometimes when I say I've been married for 20 years, I feel like it ages me or something almost. I'm always like, oh, well, yeah, I've been married for a really long time. Because people are like,
Right.
she's married for 20 years. Like
I
that comes,
know.
right? It comes
Well,
off as like,
literally, I mean, yeah. I want your I want your beauty secrets. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm slowly getting over that. It's like I just well what I said when I turned 50, I said for the first 5 years until I'm 55, when people ask me how old I am, I'm going to say I just turned 50. Whether I'm 52, 53, 54,
Up
but
to
now
54, we just that's what you say. I've been doing
I,
that with 40. Oh, I
yeah,
just turned 40,
right, right, right. It's
Yeah.
kind of yeah, it kind of works. But actually, I didn't like 51, but like when people ask me I'm 52, I just say it. And it's so corny. It's like it is just a number, but I'm feeling pretty good about all that stuff right now. You know what I mean? Like where I'm
Like,
at, like what my body looks like, how it's responding, all that stuff. So, I guess that's an accomplishment too.
yeah, well, you look fantastic. You guys have always all kept yourselves together and look great. And just the fact that you just keep going and on and on and on. And we're going to get into all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, like, teenager Melissa would never believe that I'd be having you on my podcast one day. And also, even as a teenager, think that I'd be on this reality show or anything that I've been doing for the last 15 years. So it's kind
Yeah,
of funny how life is like a full circle moment so many of the times, and you just never know what's in store in life. And I always say that. So
that's true. That's true.
and yeah, I also, one thing I have to tell you is that the very first concert I've ever been to in my life was NKOTB, New
Mm-hmm.
Kids on the Block. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
never forget, I have a sister who is, she's like 11, 12 years older than me. I was an accident. So
Mm-hmm.
she's at least 10 years older than me. And she took me and my girlfriends to this concert because my mother was like, you take her. Because at the time, my sister was probably like 23 and I was 13 or whatever it was. So she took me, and I'll never forget. Like, she came home and complained because she's like, the screaming girls in
Mm-hmm.
my ear the whole time. And I was
Yeah.
like, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And
Yeah.
she was like, went home like holding her ears as like a 20, probably 4 year
Yeah.
old girl.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, I apologize. Tell her I'm sorry. All
Oh
these years
yeah.
later.
Now she can't. No, honestly, she wants to come see you on your solo tour. She's a fan. I'm like, oh, see how
Brilliant.
what happened?
Where does she
It's like
live?
she lives in New Jersey. In New
Oh,
Jersey.
good. Okay.
Yeah, I know you're coming to New York. I was looking
Yeah.
at your tour dates. You're doing a whole tour in April.
Yes. Yes. We're doing this. I'm calling it phase one, but this phase ends in New York, which is always because I know we have where to play. Like coming into the city is like I'm glad it's a Saturday because they can make it a thing and you go into the city. But like our fans now we have to plan those things out. It's like because sometimes I'm like, oh, I should play Jersey and Long Island. You know what I mean? They call that like splitting aces in the business, like
Oh, do
almost on
they?
a bigger level. Like instead of playing Madison Square Garden, you'll play Jersey, like
Like the Prudential Center?
yeah, in Long Island. You know what I mean? You'll
Yes.
do that, but it's my own little. I'm not splitting aces. I'm saying come to NYC and let's have a good time.
Yeah, you're just gonna do a one and done.
Yeah,
Thank you. See you
yeah,
later, East
yeah.
Coasters.
Kind of. Yes.
Where are you originally from? Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, we're all from Boston. I'm from
From
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And where are you living now? Where have you
I'm in
like
Los
settled?
Angeles. Yeah, I'm in LA.
Got
Yeah.
it. And that's where you like raise your kids. Everything's been
Yep.
there.
We my wife's from New York, but we met in LA and um quick we were married a year to the day we met. So it happened very very I mean it didn't feel fast at the time because, when you're in love like everything moves slowly, right?
Right.
But that first, so our kids were born in LA. We did have one little we moved in 2018. We moved back to New York because we love LA, but we need to mix it up. So we moved back to LA. I mean, moved back to New York, never thinking we were gonna move back anywhere. and then 3 years in Manhattan with 3 kids. We were like, yeah, okay, we're ready for LA again. So we love it here. We're back in LA, kind of in the same neighborhood too. So we're blessed and we love it here. And yeah.
Awesome. So I got to ask you, like, from being on a stage at an early age, first of all, how old were you when you got into this business, when you started?
Well, it's funny to say business. I'll say I was 12 when I joined New Kids, but it wasn't.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah, I
young.
know. It sounds like a lot, but on the day to day, it wasn't like, I mean, we still went to school. We didn't have a lot of, it was a building period, you know, it wasn't, you know. That being said, when it really took off is the year after my freshman year of high school. I was 15 and we got a hit record, and then the rest is, you know, the craziness started happening. So, yeah, it wasn't so like business orientated. It was fun to record and make records, you know, but it really was just like, where's our next show? Where's our next talent show? Where's the next time we can try to prove ourselves? And we did that for a few years in Boston, and then we finally got a bigger break.
Were there ever challenges with you being the youngest? Like, did you ever have to watch? I'm sure you got to see things at a young age that no child should have seen.
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't say that, actually. I think I was lucky with that. It was more like, you know, literally being the new kid on the block and New Kids on the Block. They were from another, you know how it's funny, you know, one town over, it's like them, right? It's like not that, you know what I mean? Like every city has that, you know, we think we're so different. So I lovingly, but kiddingly, they were all from Dorchester, and we call Dorchester in Boston dot, right? So if you're from Dorchester, you're a dot rat, you know? So they were all dot rats. I was from Jamaica Plain. Like literally they're right next to each other, but we think, you know, so, you know, going through that, you know, being that much younger, you know, there was some bullying involved. There was fitting in. There was like, you know, some razzing. Like they didn't know who I was. They all grew up together, you know, so there was, you know, there was that dynamic. But as far as like, you know, drugs, sex, and rock and roll, that was never an issue, gratefully. You know what I mean?
Good.
So that was, I think we dodged a bullet there. And, you know, they just wanted to, it was probably, there was, you know, if anything, they just wanted to meet girls. You know what I'm saying? The older guys just wanted to meet girls. Like they didn't drink, you know, they didn't part. They just wanted to meet girls. And so it was sort of a pretty natural experience.
Right. With teenage boys. Yeah. And how much older were they than you? Was it like 5 years, 10 years?
3 and 4. I mean, Jordan's about 3 years older than me, but like at that time, 12, they were like 15, 16 years old. So compared to a 12-year-old, you know, evolution wise, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. Yes. Yeah. So, all right. So you weren't that much younger, but you were definitely a couple years behind all of them. One of the hardest parts of getting older is feeling like something's wrong with your body, but not really knowing what. Everything just feels off, right? So I've come to realize it's not just aging, it's hormones, guys. Women's hormones are so complex, and if anything goes off balance, the whole body suffers. That's why I want to tell you all about Happy Mammoth's Hormone Harmony. Hormone Harmony is a herbal formula that fine-tunes the hormonal system like a musician tunes a guitar. It doesn't just help with estrogen and testosterone. It helps with stress hormones such as cortisol, a little troublemaker that can help contribute to weight gain, among other things. Happy Mammoth, the company that created Hormone Harmony, only uses science-backed ingredients that have been proven to work for women. They don't compromise when it comes to quality, and it shows. The results are so impressive. There's over 40,000 reviews on their website. Women cannot stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. That's because Hormone Harmony can help with such a wide range of problems. Hot flashes and night sweats, racing thoughts and low moods, poor sleep and lack of energy, occasional bloating and gas, no desire to be in bed with someone, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Hormone Harmony can help with all of those things. According to a survey, 86% of women started losing weight. 77 say it improved their mood, and the biggest benefit, 100% of the women surveyed said they're feeling like themselves again. And that, my friends, is priceless. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code Melissa at checkout. That's Happy Mammoth, happy, MAMMOTH.com. On Display with Melissa Gorga is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and your auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. Okay, so coming into that group, I feel like Jordan was kind of known to be like front man, the singer, but you kind of come in, and so you sang just as much and just as well, and you hit these high notes that I feel like nobody could hit. Was that ever a challenge, like coming in and them?
Well, it was. I mean, Jordan, Jordan and John are kind of, they keep to themselves in a way. They don't say much, but when they do say something, it's important, right? You listen to people like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but my point is, it's not like, yes, I mean, he's talked about that when I came into the group early on, I took some of his solos away.
Right.
He was a nice guy. He didn't like punish me for it or whatever, but there might have been some low key, like, that's not cool vibes.
Right.
Donnie was more of the, he was a born leader.
Yes.
So he was a tough guy. He would sort of like look after me, but bust my chops. He was a bit of a bully back then, unfortunately, but he was 15, he was a kid from the street, you know what I mean? So it's not, it was what it was. The next album, by the time we got on Hangin' Tough, I mean, we balanced it out. Jordan was singing Right Stuff and I'll Be Loving You Forever. And some of Donnie and Jordan's stuff shifted around too, as far as leads. So, but by the time, Hangin' Tough, our big album, came along, like, I had a few solos, Donnie had a few solos, Jordan had a few solos. So it's sort of, pretty well balanced. So I'm not, but yeah, there was some, it was almost like, it's probably like high school. Like every once in a while I would have some feelings of like, because, I would sell the most t-shirts. So it was like, oh, Joe was like the most popular, but like, we'd all sort of like, oh yeah, it's, and then like, well, he's getting all that. It wasn't too much. I think we balanced it pretty good, but there was a little bit of that. There was, but we kind of kept it to ourselves, I think.
Let me ask you this, back in the day, because the merchandise was probably just as big as the songs and the music.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys make, like back in the day, the way the music industry was set up, did you get a lot of that money? Like, were you guys benefiting from the merchandise as well as the music?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, we did well. I mean, I think just intrinsically, listen, the way I describe it is, artists come and go, right? We don't have, in the music business, there's no artist union. We all feel for each other, but we're never at the same table. We never call a meeting. We're never all together. But managers, lawyers, agents, and accountants have lunch every day. You know what I'm saying? So
very true.
That their business is to, how do we make money? Now, it doesn't make them bad people, but they go on a daily basis. How are we going to make this work and still be, good to our artists? But like, so yeah, you can look at the numbers and very easily go, you make what for what?
Right.
it can be hard and difficult, but you know, for us, especially back then, it's on the up and up. There's no secret, people stealing money. It was what it was. Like Maurice Starr, who produced us at the time, you know, it was his idea. You know what I'm saying? So early on, I mean, now we own the name, and we kind of, because we've been in the game so long, we we kind of control the situation. Um,
Which is good. You
But
live and you learn,
my
right?
point is, back then we didn't get robbed. We didn't get robbed. I mean, it's a numbers game, yes, but it wasn't like this. You hear the horror stories. It really wasn't like that for us. I think we had good people around us. Um, that being said, you look at the numbers and you always go, "That's all we get." You
Right.
know what I'm
Of
saying?
course. We still
You
do we
know,
do that on Bravo. We do that everywhere. I mean, I guess
absolutely, absolutely.
there's always the one, there's the head and then there's the neck, right? So there's always someone who's controlling the head, if that makes
Sure,
sense.
sure. And that's business, right? No one's got to get into our head when we sign the dotted line, right?
Exactly.
We can
Exactly.
walk away and we make choices and we're like, okay, like I'm sure you're like, all right, I'll do another season or I'll do another blah blah blah. That's you gotta
It's
balance
hard
it.
to say no because you start to weigh your options. You're like, well, I can go back to what I was doing before, or I can make the money. And so
Yeah.
everyone kind of goes back into like, let me make the money, right? Let's make a
Yeah.
living.
Yeah, and
So,
as you know, as the profile and you help things and connections, it's not just about the money, but
of
how can I
course.
better do what I love to do, right? Like here you are, doing your thing, like
Right.
and making it
Right.
work.
Because of the platform,
Yeah,
I own many
yeah,
businesses. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right. So that's always the way that we all kind of look at it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Going back though to the boys, who did you relate to the most? Like who was there someone who was really like your person?
Um, well, what I do say is, Donnie and I came from very similar homes. He had older brothers and I had older sisters. So he was more like a rah, rah, rah. And I was like a don't you dare. You know what I mean? So we would kind of butt heads a lot. But the good news is we rode the wave, and like we're all really good friends. I think we chose friendship and family over business, and that's a big reason why we're still together. And that
Right.
making that decision, it's not easy. It's not easy to choose, family and your history and friendship over business, but we've somehow balanced that. You know what I mean? And because we all have our own personalities and wants and needs, and you got to negotiate all that. But back in the day, we got to connect with each other. Everybody had their little moments. And, Danny historically was nice enough to say, all right, we can share a room. We had to share a room like on the road early on.
Oh wow.
And so, Danny was like, come on, you can stay with me. Cause Jordan and Donnie were nuts. You know what I mean? So and John had to have his own room. So, um, and then, Jordan and I, over the years and still today, we really like to have, we laugh at the same things. You know what I mean? I think we make each other laugh. He's super funny. He's very dry sense of humor, which I love.
I love it.
Um, and John's, you know,
He always seemed like the chiller of every. Was he like
yeah, he
more
was very, he
chill?
was the shy one. He was the shy one. So
Right.
we didn't always connect. I mean, now we do. I just appreciate like what he's done with his life and his passion, of his show on HGTV has shown the world like what he can really do. And like that wasn't a vanity project. He loves to remodel and build houses, and he knows what the heck he's talking about. And he's got a beautiful marriage with his husband and Harley. And it's just good to see friends that have arrived at a good place, and still be challenged.
Right. And I think it's important to be able to reinvent yourself, right? So he actually he kind of reinvented himself with that and
Yeah.
showed his passion. And
Yeah.
I always feel like you need to keep moving, right? Like you need to keep moving with the times and what's going
Yeah.
on, and being able to like do something else. It's not like you say, okay, this was the one thing I did in life and it's over and it's over. Like this,
Right.
I feel like that's a really like great, important quality to have, because I even say that now, just like
Yeah.
reinvent. Like, okay, you got to, even with social media, with whatever it may be, you
Yeah.
got to move with, right now, podcasts are in, right? So you're going to advertise something, you got to be on the podcast. You got to
Yeah.
hit that
Yeah.
where that was nothing 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Or
And I think, to piggyback off of that, I think it's, and to do that, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable, right? To do things
yes,
that are scary, to
right,
do things that are uncomfortable. And now I'm at a point where like that stuff comes up, and even though it's uncomfortable, like it's a sign that I'm growing. It's a sign that I'm moving forward. And it really is, I think, about me. It's like, on a bigger scale, it's like, it sounds cliche, but like when I'm old and gray, and I'm sitting in that rocking chair, like I don't want any regrets. Like, and I think I'm just pretty good at it, and it's a practice of going, okay, what's that next thing, because it comes up. We all have ideas, these creative ideas, and we say no to them for different reasons. And they might be reasonable reasons, like I'm too busy, or I got to do this, or this is a priority, or I got to pay the bills, or I got to take care of my kids, or I got to take care of loved ones, and I don't have, yes, that makes sense too. But at the same time, I know the bigger
picture.
ideas that I want to accomplish, and I'm just going to keep doing that, and that's, like my album, not to, plug my album here, but like finishing an album was a big accomplishment, and it took commitment, it took time, and I'm glad I did it. I'm really proud that I did it. I'm happy with the result, but I think I'm more happy that just the fact that I did it and finished it.
Right. Long work weeks and busy weekends month after month can leave you feeling and looking depleted. Prolong works at the cellular level to rejuvenate you from the inside out, supporting enhanced skin appearance and fat loss, and improving energy and focus post-fast. Prolong's program takes the guesswork out and equips you with a science-backed plan, making it a key tool for your health journey. Prolong's fasting mimicking diet is a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes the body while making cells believe they're fasting. It all starts with their 5-day program. Snacks, soups, beverages designed to keep your body in a fasting state. No guesswork or planning required. Guys, I took Prolong's 5-day at the beginning of this year, and I'm still feeling the benefits of it. It's insane to think that you can get the same results of fasting from fasting with food, and Prolong makes it so easy because everything in the program actually tastes good. To help you kickstart a health plan that truly works, Prolong is offering On Display with Melissa Gorga listeners 15% off site-wide, plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day nutrition program. Just visit prolonglife.com/ondisplay. That's prolonlife.com/ondisplay to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonglife.com/ondisplay. This episode of On Display is brought to you by Booking.com. Yeah. Every time I use Booking.com to find a place to stay in the U.S., I know they'll have exactly what I'm looking for. They have a huge variety of options from hotels to vacation rentals, and I'm always able to find something that fits my specific needs. I found that Booking.com has something for everyone. Guys, Joe and I use Booking.com quite often, especially when it comes to just finding a quick getaway for the weekend. It's so easy to find the exact place that you want to stay in. Patio, check. Pool, check. Close to the coffee shop, check. No matter who you are, Booking.com helps you find the stay that's absolutely right for you. So check them out and find exactly what you're booking for on Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Well, you did release a brand new solo album just in January, right?
Yeah.
And the album was on the top 20 on the
Yeah.
Billboard and the top
Yeah.
5 on Apple.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
did you expect such success with this, or were you surprised? Or, I mean, it was about 15 years ago before you released something prior,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been
First
doing a
of all,
couple songs here and there.
congratulations. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I was sharing screenshots of my albums between like Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift. You know what I mean?
Yes. There you
So
go.
yeah, it's sweet. I mean, we and I say we, the new kids and myself, I mean, as lucky as we've been, we never take anything for granted, as you can imagine, like in this business, in this world, it's like, oh, this is going to do great. It's like, and, just to have that opening, it's like an opening weekend for me. You know what I mean? Like it did get some eyeballs. It did, the fans did show up. I guess like, if I did anything right, like I gave it the proper runway. I think oftentimes, when I make things, it can be like, let's just get it out there. In this digital world, I could have finished the album and put it out in a week. Now that's fine if that's the kind of thing you want to do, but I knew this was different. Like I wanted to make the vinyl, make a CD, that takes time to press up. You put a single out, you wait a while, you build up momentum, all that stuff like takes patience, especially for me. So I guess doing that and then seeing people finally when it came out being excited that, it happened and more and more like they're digging the album. Like I did this great Donnie's much better on social media than me. He's just like, it's tireless. Like he's just able to like connect and it doesn't draw his energy down. It actually feeds him, where I have to balance it. Sometimes it's exciting, but like I
Sometimes
can
it's
only do
work.
so much. Yeah, I can only do so much. And like that's my journey. It's like knowing when to put it down. But that being said, I did this story of, it said, what's your favorite song off the new album? And so, you click on that thing and you get to see what's yours and you add that. And Donnie's telling me, hey, the fans are doing one of those things and I did one too. So click on it. And he's telling me how to click on it so you can see who's doing them, to click on it and then reshare it.
And then you go to the next person.
So,
it goes to
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So I was like, normally my stories, I might have 2 or 3 during the day and then I'll, disappear for a week. But my stories is like, when you go on, someone's like,
yes, and they're like, my daughter calls that something. I wish I could come up with, because when I do that, why are you, whatever she calls it,
spamming? She's maybe
yes,
spamming.
You're spamming.
That's
why are you spamming Instagram? Get off Instagram. Like she literally calls me and yells at me. I'm like, be quiet.
Yeah. I love it. We have the same kids. Okay. But yeah, so I spammed the hell out of it and people were doing different songs. And the good news is like, it's 10 songs and there were a couple that were like, more than others.
Right.
But everybody was like liking their own, so people are digging it. And I'm just happy, I knew it was like, as a piece of work, like they were all important songs, and to get that feedback from the fans is very cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, were you nervous to go ahead and do anything on your own? I mean, when you come from such a huge boy band and such a strong presence of a boy band, and then you go into your own, what made you want to do that, or gave you that decision to go ahead and try it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always done plenty of stuff on my own. You know what I mean? I've done Broadway, I've done TV, I've done some movies, so I'm comfortable
solo,
but my battle is, and I don't get explicit with the album, but I was open about what I call, I talk about a little bit, the gilded cage. You know what I'm saying? It's like your show. It's like Bravo is the gilded cage. Man, is it fancy, right? Man, is it fancy. You got all the bells and whistles. Everybody knows you, but like, what about me? What about you, right? What about Melissa? Right. What about Melissa? And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what
you're saying. On steroids, actually, because I got 5 guys that I kind of like been coming up with. it's all relative, to each his
Right.
own. But so to carve that path and say, this is me, and not go, oh, is it enough? Is anybody going to care? How many people are going to care? Am I, again, the credits don't always transfer. It's like, yes, the new kids are immensely popular. We're playing arenas. That doesn't mean when I put out a solo album, I'm going to be playing arenas. You know what I'm saying? I got to like sort of reconcile like where I'm at and still value what I bring to the table,
As
and
a solo artist, correct.
yeah.
I agree with
So
that.
there's all those feelings,
But
but
you have a very healthy way of thinking, and that's why this all works for you too, because
right.
it's everything you say is on par and on point with a
Yeah.
very healthy way to like live your life coming from a platform and as starting out how you started out. Like everything you're doing just sounds like the healthy, great way to do it. And I think that's why
Yeah.
you've been so successful too, because you're very aware of all of that.
But it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of work. And, it's a genuine soundbite right now, but it takes work to get there. Like
Of course.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm grateful for that journey. I'm grateful for the work I did. I'm grateful that I can share openly about my experience. It's not some secret. I'm not trying to go, well, this is my story and blah, blah, blah. It's like I'm saying it with Donnie, like hosting a listening party. I'm telling our fans what I'm feeling, you know what I mean? And it's okay. It's like it has weight, but it doesn't have to be like this sharp sword. You know what I'm saying? And that's a pleasant surprise, because I wasn't so sure how I was going to be able to experience me really being honest about the album, but it seems to be, going well.
Yeah, I mean, you were also on the first season of Dancing with the Stars,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah.
did that. You did a Christmas movie, I believe, as
I
well,
just did.
right?
Yeah, I just did a Christmas movie last year on the Roku channel, and it's called Jingle Bell Love, and people loved it. They loved it so much that we're actually doing a sequel. So you get the scoop on that.
Okay, love
So we're
this.
doing another one
Okay.
that's coming out next year too. So that's how much it's nice to, because you could make something and enjoy it, but that doesn't mean they're going to want a sequel. But so
Oh, I love it. Exclusive news.
yeah, I'm busy. I just did a off Broadway show. I'm a theater kid, so theater is important to me. Just originated a role off Broadway, and yeah, it's coming up in the business, loving to do a lot of things. Sometimes I felt like I spread myself too thin.
Right.
But if you do that long enough, at my age and my point in my experience, it's easier to go back and forth. Now it's all kind of feeds each other.
Yeah, it's all you're a talent in so many different ways. You truly are. You've
I
done
try.
you are. This podcast is sponsored by Naked Wines. Ever walk in a store and have no idea what wine to get? Yeah, me too. I've stopped wasting time at the grocery store staring at a giant wall of wine and not knowing what to pick. That's why I love Naked Wines. Naked Wines is a service that directly connects you to the world's finest independent winemakers so you can get award-winning wine delivered straight to your door. Use our code Melissa for the code and password at nakedwines.com and get their incredible deal of 6 bottles for just $39.99. So yeah, you're probably wondering, how do they do it? Well, Naked Wines connects winemakers and wine drinkers directly, allowing for vineyard to your door delivery at up to 60% off what you would pay in store. By cutting out the traditional retail middleman costs and markups, winemakers can pass those savings on to you without skimping on quality. Guys, I just received my latest 6 bottles of Naked Wines, and they were incredibly delicious. And each one of them paired so well with a dish that we cooked up in the Gorga household. The world of wine is complicated and hard to find what you love. And what I love about Naked Wines is that they not only have incredible wines and amazingly affordable prices, they also make it easy to find what you're looking for, even if you don't know exactly how to put in words what you're looking for. With Naked Wines, finding wine you love is simple and easy. Now's the time to join the Naked Wines community. Head to nakedwines.com/Melissa. Click enter voucher and put my code Melissa for both the code and the password for 6 bottles of wine for just $39.99 with shipping included. That's $100 off your first 6 bottles at nakedwines.com/Melissa and use the code and password Melissa for 6 bottles of wine for just $39.99. Imagine an app designed to make you use it less. Seems counterproductive, no? Well, Apartments.com's instant alert feature works exactly that way. Instead of scanning rental listings a million times a day, simply set and forget your search to whatever you're looking for in a place and let Apartments.com do the rest. From pet-friendly apartments to balconies to in-unit ACs, Apartments.com's powerful search tools let you know when your perfect combination of features you're seeking is listed. So you don't have to power through rental descriptions one by one. With more rental listings than anywhere else, Apartments.com's instant alerts mean you can spend less time online looking for the perfect place and more time doing you. And Apartments.com has more than just apartments. They have all kinds of homes, from houses to townhouses to condos to apartments and everything in between. They've helped millions of renters find their perfect place to live, the ones that check off all their own personal boxes. So check it out. Apartments.com, the place to find a place. How is your talent of balancing it all, though? Like, let me ask you that, because I know you're about to go on tour, solo by yourself. You guys have a Vegas, New Kids on the Block have a Vegas residency coming up in June. I mean, you have 3 kids, you have a wife. How do you do that? Like, do you come into, is it hard to travel this much? And how does your wife handle all of this? Because if my husband said he had to go, I think I'm not good with that. I'd be like, nah, no, stay home.
Yeah, for sure. I seem to be picking up because, yes, I think as a parent, I go, it really has to be important, for me to leave. But also, as a parent, I think you can really teach your kids, like, dad or mom's like doing their thing. Like, that's what it looks like to be a person in this world, is getting after it. You know what I mean? And like, my kids are 13, 15, and 17 now. So, you don't have to, you're not they're not in the stroller and you're not feeding them, Cheerios, you know what I'm saying? So as life goes on, there's more opportunity. That being said, my wife is absolutely amazing and, awesome. Hugely supportive. And so I can't do it without her, and have a family. The balance, to get current, actually, and I've been sharing about this more and more. I've always, been able to, I guess, balance it in my own way. But today, actually, I don't know when this is coming out, but today,
Thursday.
I haven't. I've been sober for a year. I haven't drank in a year. Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. It's wild. I always wanted to give it a shot. Yeah. And
for any specific reasons, was it clouding you? Was it?
It was more, as I share sometimes, it wasn't the obsession of wanting to drink. It was the obsession of wanting not to drink. And it all meaning like, I wish I could give this a shot. You know what I mean? And I wasn't a huge drinker. It doesn't matter. It's not the amount, it's the noise around the drinking for me. So, and it wasn't easy, and I still have days of like, it'd be great to freaking have a Manhattan on the rocks, right? But what I've experienced, you don't know until you know, the space it gives me spiritually and mentally, like I didn't even know. But
Wow.
I think to me, drinking and that thing is so attached to planning in the future, being in the future like we do.
Right.
That human experience. It's all about the next thing. And so it takes me out of the moment. And the
I feel like it's a
spaciousness.
huge piece of discipline too, right? Like that is disciplining
Good
yourself
word.
in
Good
right
word. Good word.
in
Thank you.
such a way.
For me, you are so right. For me, even though I always worked hard, even though I always showed up, I had good parents. My dad would say, get a job. And it didn't matter if I was raking leaves or playing Madison Square Garden. So I had that in me. But like, yes, the practice and the discipline, no matter what we're talking about, is is an esteemable act. It gives you self-esteem and like more strength, to kind of, accomplish what you want. But I also noticed that like even though I'm busy, even though I got this tour and then I'm doing a movie and then we're doing Las Vegas, like all this stuff, I also have a lot of space in my day to take a walk or go for a run or meditate or be a person. And doesn't, believe me, I'm not walking on air all the time. Life is still in session, right? But
Right.
that was, I mean, that's the elephant in the room for me is my, not drinking.
Congrats on that.
Yeah.
First of all, we got some exclusive news on the sequel.
Yeah.
I have exclusive news. I got you 1 year from the
Yeah.
day. Do
Yeah.
you miss alcohol at all? Do you miss it, or are you going to keep it
It's
going?
wild. It's wild. Listen, I mean, my message, I was thinking I'm going to do a message today, like not beating the drum, because by the way, let me make you a martini, like enjoy it. Good for you. Like
Right.
I'm not trying to be, but I, there's certain days like, the first like 15, 16 days, you're like, "Grr," and you got to have a community. You got to have help. You know what I mean? You
Right.
got to be able to call people and go, this sucks. You know what I mean? And
For
I had
sure.
those people in my life, and there's a lot of help out there, and to each his own how to get through that. But like, 60 days, I was like, yeah, I'm all set. Like I am all set. I'm good. I'm ready to drink. 80 days, I was like, "Grr." But then it
Right.
gets easier. I mean, I got a closet, this beautiful closet in this room. It's like it has a sink in it. It's old school. It's got
A
all kinds of
bar.
alcohol in there, and I'm good. The grace of God,
Good.
like I'm good. Like I don't have that physical urge.
Need.
Yeah,
Good.
but I it's a miracle. I couldn't believe it. It's like I was like, but here I am. Here I am, and it's doable. That's the message, I think, for anybody. And it's funny when I was trying to, for some reason, of course, as algorithms go, right? When I was like a year ago and I'm like, should I give this a shot? Like, I'm seeing all these algorithms, like, especially like John Mayer talks about how he doesn't drink anymore. Like, the
Yep.
couple of clips, you know what I mean? And so maybe, I'm one of those voices that might give that person at least, it's worth a shot, man. It's worth a shot if you hear that voice in you. If you don't, then great. Like, God bless. It's not an issue for a lot of people, but I think it is. And again, I wasn't a big drinker, but it's interesting, and it's a freaking, it's a high all its own, because you're afraid I'm not going to have fun, right? I'm not going to have fun. I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to blah, blah, blah. It's like, I've laughed. You still laugh. You still go out to dinner. You still have a good time. And you wake up in the morning feeling a lot better. It's
Right.
a
For
trip.
sure.
It's a
Well,
trip.
see, I hope that reaches anyone out there who's listening
Yeah.
that is just questioning it. And it's true. Is that a noise in your head or not? And if it is,
Right.
maybe you got to
Right.
try it out,
And
you know?
it can bring up a lot of, when you take away that numbing thing, when you take away that ripcord of, which is lovely. But when you take that away, yes, it's going to bring up other stuff. It's going to bring up space, and you might have to fill it with other stuff, or who knows? It's not easy. Everybody
Right.
has their own path, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Awesome. I love that. And congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing I have to ask you before I let you go.
Yeah.
Do you watch Bravo? Are you a Bravo fan?
No, I was going to say to you, and I don't know, maybe that's refreshing. Like, this is the first time we met. I've never watched any of the shows. I couldn't tell you what house. I didn't know if you were from Jersey or Beverly Hills. So
I love it. So you don't watch any of the Housewives.
Now I know you're a Jersey girl. You're a beautiful Jersey girl. So I don't want to insult you, but no, I'm not a
Bravo junkie.
Not even a little bit.
I can't really see you tuning into Housewives. Honestly, I don't think that's gonna be your thing.
I would get too involved. I'd be like, that's not cool. Like, yeah, it's because I want to get in there with everybody else and be like, wait a minute, what did you just say? Don't say that to her. You know, all that jazz. You know what I mean? I'm way too.
Well, you're
practical.
A good person. You would be Team Melissa because you're a good person.
Okay, good.
I'm teasing, but I had a feeling you didn't watch Bravo. But I'm like, if he does, we need to get a couple takes from him on what he thinks. You know, so
well, I can get Donnie on FaceTime, and I'm sure he'd give you the blow.
Oh yes, I know Donnie does know. Yeah. Yes, for sure. I know he's friendly with one of my hairdressers and some guys I know, which is so funny. So. Yeah. But anyway, Joey, thank you so much for coming on today. Honestly, best of luck with everything you're doing this year. And all my listeners, make sure you check out his Freedom Tour starting April 4th in Houston, April 5th in Dallas, April 7th in St. Louis, and then all over the U.S. and Canada. I want to be seeing you April 26th in New York City. So I will come. Yes, I definitely
bring your sister.
I'm going to bring my sister because now she's into
Girls' Night Out.
Girls' Night Out. I'm very excited about that. And also, you know, your residency with New Kids on the Block in June, that's huge also. So, you know, and more importantly, and most importantly, congratulations on your first year of sobriety. That's huge.
Yeah, that's very cool. Thank you.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming on today. I know so many of my listeners are going to be, you know, freaking out and geeking out and so excited.
Good.
And I appreciate you. And hopefully I see you on tour.
Yeah. I'll see you in New York.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Ciao.
All right, I may not be as funny as Nikki Glaser.
I want to pitch a series of like calendars where men are just crying in a therapist's office or punching a pillow and working out their anger towards their dad.
But I do have my moments. I actually have full conversations. With the moon. Yes. I try to keep it pretty balanced on this podcast. A little fun dance between comedy, therapy, self-medicating. Oh, and sorry, if you haven't guessed, hi, I'm Caitlin Bristow, host of Off the Vine podcast, where we like to just keep things loose and keep them raw and keep them real, like when we have listeners call in and give confessions.
And then that glass of wine progressed into me becoming a unicorn for them.
But we do, and I promise you this, try to keep it honest and vulnerable. So jump on the wagon, not off, grab your favorite bottle of wine, preferably Spade and Sparrows, and join the Vinos. Have yourself a time. The Off the Vine podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you looking for your next case? Pluto TV has all your favorite crime dramas streaming for free.
You're gonna need some backup.
Which means suspense is free.
Very cool.
Watch CSI New York, Criminal Minds, Blue Bloods, Tracker, FBI, and SWAT all for free.
You can't outrun this.
Someone's gonna pay for all this crime. But it's not gonna be you.
Take care of business, fellas.
Watch all the cases, all for free, from all your favorite devices.
We got you.
Feel the free. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
This is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform.
Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball, BetOnline provides you with all the action. BetOnline also has NHL, MMA, and championship boxing. And with in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with the ability to watch and bet on games as they happen. From touchdowns to three-pointers and even hat tricks, BetOnline has you covered on every play, every score, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.